Update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to give up my dream wedding dress, though it means my fiancé's family will not attend? Original story. I'm in a lot of turmoil right now and it feels like everything is falling apart. I have never had a great relationship with my future mother-in-law. It isn't terrible, but I can sense that she doesn't like me. My fiancé is very close to his family, so there has been some tension. I didn't invite mother-in-law wedding dress shopping because our relationship is awkward, but I thought I'd show her a picture to make her feel included. My dress is a beautiful flowy beachy dress, but not technically a wedding dress, and could be ordered in color. I bought it from a small local boutique that we both love. Mother-in-law said that I can't wear the dress because she bought the same one for her 50th birthday, which is 2 weeks after my wedding. Mother-in-law does have the dress though in a mint green color. There is enough detailing that it is clearly the same dress, and she has the receipt to prove she got it first. Lavish birthday parties are a thing in our circle, so I know she has invested serious time and money in this party. I said that I'm still going to wear the dress, despite the fact I could easily return it with no loss, because I didn't do this out of malice, and I love it. Mother-in-law said if she wears it 2 weeks after I do, everyone is going to think she's pathetic and copying her son's wife. I said sorry, but not really my problem. Everyone has gone crazy since I said that. His entire side of the family the friend's mother-in-law invited have all backed out of the wedding, so like 15 people and it will be noticeable. His sisters were supposed to be in the wedding party on his side, but dropped out and have blocked him on everything. His stepdad won't talk to him and says he regrets raising him, but he isn't a real man because a real man would stand up for his mom. His bi-dad is even in mother-in-law's side, which doesn't surprise me because they are good friends, but he called us up to shame us the other night. My fiancé is hurting and found out his family had a big beach day and invited everyone but him. He called mother-in-law, they talked, but didn't come to a resolution. She said that if I refuse to do the right thing, the only answer is no one going to her party can go to the wedding. He tried calling sister-in-law and found out she blocked him. He is mad at me now and feels like she had it first. Added for some info, mother-in-law's never acted like this before. Truly ever. She's extremely laid back. Doesn't show emotion, not really attention-seeking, which is why my fiancé is so confused. At this point, I think the relationship with the sisters and stepdad is beyond repair for now, and I'm scared to have them at the wedding. To all the people saying I should wear it to her birthday, laughing my butt off, but I'm bound. And Rex has already promised to act as bouncer, not that I'd ever crash it. Now for the top comments before reading the update. You can wear whatever you want, but at some point you might need to think if this dress is more important than your wedding, because it seems like that might not happen at this point. Edit. Everyone acts like this is just normal behavior for mother-in-law and is a slippery slope. That if you don't wear the same dress as her, you will always be under their control, while OP has repeatedly stated that there have been no issues. This seems all to be about this exact situation. If mother-in-law had written the post, would people be, if she wears the dress, she will always start wearing the same clothes as you own? Of course not, because that's ridiculous. Things can happen. That doesn't mean that they will continue to happen under different circumstances. Some people writing comments here are more dramatic than mother-in-law and her family. I agree with us, but mother-in-law and her family are ridiculously overreacting. That goes without saying, but my guess is that OP's significant other isn't willing to cut out his family because of a dress. Everyone sucks here. All of you sound difficult. Except possibly your significant other who is caught between a bunch of self-righteous entitled people who don't care about the damage they do. The mother-in-law's difficult, but so is OP. You could have been the bigger person and get another dress. You said it yourself. You can still return it and no big loss. Seems like OP chose to make it more difficult and is a bit of a bridezilla. You should help your fiancé out and not wear the dress. Get a different one because you are ruining his relationship with his family. And yes, they are being a-holy, but he loves them and you're driving the wedge. I can't see a good marriage from a start like this, especially since he's mad at you now. Final edit. My dress is going back and I apologize to her because I can't understand it, but something deeply hurt her. Mother-in-law and my fiancé are talking for the first time in over a month. She seems exhausted and sad, but maybe there is hope. I really don't think stepfather-in-law or sister-in-laws will ever get over this, but we will see. And now for the update. So I posted here a few months ago about my mother-in-law wanting to wear the same dress to her 50th as I bought for my wedding. She did have the dress first and receipts to prove it. I got a lot of mixed feedback and ultimately decided to return the dress, as it clearly triggered something massive for her. We got married a month ago, and mother-in-law did agree to come after originally refusing. Stepfather-in-law, the man who raised my husband, would not be swayed. and sister-in-laws have him blocked and everything and did not want to hear it. I kind of wondered if she was going to pull something crazy, which isn't really her style, but this whole thing has been crazy. She was very quiet and just hang out with her ex. Mother-in-law and my husband have talked a little and she just isn't in a mind frame for a relationship right now. She's extremely hurt and I don't get it, but she obviously needs her space. She barely spoke during the wedding. I actually reached out to stepfather-in-law, which probably wasn't my place, but he said we didn't see her sobbing in his arms. We can't get what we did to her. I know I got a lot of pushback on my decision to return the dress and people saying it's just a birthday, but it really isn't. Yeah, she might get one every year, but a massive party for her 51st just seems a little odd. I remember my mom's 50th and how much she put into that. It was like a wedding. Mother-in-law invited us to her party after uninviting us and her ex pledging to pay security. Ultimately, we decided not to go because of how angry stepfather-in-law and both sister-in-laws are, and stepfather-in-law admitted he was uncomfortable at the thought of seeing us. It was too much for my husband to see his whole family there. She had her party over the weekend, and yes, I social media snooped a bit. It looked great. She looked really happy and I'm at peace that I didn't get my dream dress. As for us, my husband is going to therapy to heal from the grief. He has realized he needs to respect his sisters and they're serious. The younger one broke down sobbing and said I did the right thing, but he didn't do anything. And she can't forgive him for just letting their mom get hurt. I still don't totally get it, but it's okay. Mother-in-law doesn't express feelings, so for some reason this was her hill to die on. She doesn't seem too interested in a relationship, so they'll have the occasion text, I guess, and everything's over. I'm happy she has a good party, and I'm looking forward to my husband healing and the rest of our lives. There's seriously something missing here. I really wish we could get the other side of the story. This is such an extreme reaction for someone you say is normally not dramatic. I'm absolutely positive something has been left out. Could be something you are not saying? Is not my problem the rudest thing you said? Because I doubt. Or something you don't even know. Maybe there is some sort of trauma here that you're not aware of that is triggered. We always get a biased, one-sided account, but this is on levels I am not used to. Again, I am not accusing you. It's very possible it is something you don't even understand. But something is seriously off here. Nice update, Opie. But if anything, this makes me even more confused as to what the hell even happened on that side of the family. It sounds like you did something horrific, like offed her pet or caused her to miscarry or something traumatic as all hell. Not threatened to take her dress. Almost makes me wonder if she's terminally ill, and you don't know. And this party was supposed to be a huge hurrah because you wouldn't see another one, or something weird. I think it triggered her PTSD. I really hope this was a wake-up call because there is a lot brewed there. That's not really enough. It may have triggered her PTSD, but her sisters and husband all reacted the same way. Something is missing here. She never asks for anything. Her husband and daughters just snapped, I guess, because this was the first thing which really seemed meaningful to her. She is really chill in general, and all three of her kids think she was the best mom, even if my husband kind of hates her at the moment. They knew the backstory and the PTSD, and they were the ones who saw her sobbing when she never shows any weakness. They all think I tried to ruin her huge once-in-a-lifetime milestone. I wish they were open to talking about it, and could explain it better. None of them were fans of me to begin with, so I guess it was easy to make me the villain. In your original post, some of your comments shed light as to why your mother-in-law and family are reacting this way. You said mother-in-law has been bullied and called a cheap woman and a liar and pathetic her whole life for things totally not her fault. You also mentioned your mother-in-law was worried that if she wore the same dress to her big party 2 weeks later, everyone is going to think she's pathetic and copying her son's wife. And your response was, sorry, but not really my problem. Were you aware of her severe emotional trauma before saying it wasn't your problem? If so, your original response was callous, and honestly her family is doing the right thing by protecting her. You said they snapped, but if someone in my family was triggered in this manner, then I would absolutely do everything in my power to support them. From your other comments in the original post, it sounds like you understood this as well, but you still seem to be making subtle comments that imply you still don't understand why they are reacting this way. It's not about the dress, it was the potential of your mother-in-law reliving past traumas that she and her family were worried about. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for losing weight before my sister's wedding? I'm 28 female used to be quite overweight. Over the last year or so, I have made many changes in my life and have successfully lost almost 100 pounds. I don't live close to any of my family and don't post on social media, so my family wasn't really aware of my weight loss. I did mention that I was making healthier choices, but that's it. It's just that every time before that I've tried to lose weight, it hasn't worked out, so I don't want anyone commenting on it. My sister 26 female got engaged last year, and I'm super happy for her. Due to circumstances, the wedding had to be pushed back a little. It's happening a week from now, and because I haven't seen everyone in so long, I decided to come down 2 weeks earlier to help out and catch up. Well, when I came to see my family, my sister freaked out upon seeing me. As it turns out, she has gained a bit of weight. Not super noticeable to me as she still looks great. But I think this is the first time in our lives that I'm smaller than her, as I've always been the fat sister. She basically accused me of trying to upstage her, and my parents are fully taking her side. I'm really not sure if I'm in the wrong here, as so many of my family are taking her side of things. Am I the a-hole for losing weight before my sister's wedding? Now for the top comments. Wow, OP. You spent a whole year of your life losing weight and make sacrifices just to upstage your sister? How dedicated and petty of you. How delusional is your family? Not the a-hole. Instead of being happy that her sister is making healthy changes, she made it about herself. Totally self-centered. Right? I mean, I could kind of understand knee-jerk reaction if you made a grand entrance on the day itself, but we're talking a full 2 weeks earlier in a completely different venue. Your sister is mad at herself for getting fatter and taking it out on you. I had a friend show up to a gathering some years ago. He was always overweight, while I was always very physically fit. He showed up absolutely muscle-bound and cut, while I had gained weight due to poor life choices. I was extremely happy for him. I don't understand being awful to people you are supposed to care about because they have improved themselves. Wow, how dare you lose an amazing 100 pounds to decide to make healthier lifestyle choices? How dare you care for your health and make your insecure sister even more insecure due to her own problems with vanity? What a monster. All ridiculousness aside, not the a-hole. With all due respect, your sister needs to get her head out of her back end before she starts choking on the crap that she's so full of. I'm sorry you have to go through this, OP. I suggest you simply say, I'm sorry my current appearance has ruined your wedding. I'll head back home now. Send photos. Then get on with your life. Sometimes, I've seen it happen, families get so entrenched in obesity and unhealthy habits that they're actually offended by friends or family members who choose a different path. Truth is, they're jealous as can be, but may not even realize that themselves. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for agreeing to be a groomsman for my brother-in-law's wedding, even though my wife doesn't approve of the marriage and is boycotting the wedding? So I, 37 male, have been married to my wife, 36 female, for just over a decade. We have 3 kids together, 1 daughter and 2 sons. She has a younger brother who's 31. Just weeks after I started dating his sister, he and I hit it off and became fast friends. Hunting, fishing, off-roading, etc. I think of him as my little brother. Anyway, when he was still in his early 20s, he ended up getting a girl pregnant. After getting pressured by both my in-laws as well as her family, he ended up marrying her. But it was a mistake. He never loved her. He was never all that into her. They just got together one night out of boredom and ended up producing a child. But as far as both families were concerned, that was it. They needed to get married and start and maintain a family. His ex was actually fine with it, but he wasn't. I think she loved him, but he never loved her. He loved the son that they had together, but not her. But my wife absolutely loved her and thought that she was the best thing that ever happened to her younger brother. Anyway, he ended up having an affair with his now fiancé. It was wrong, obviously, but he was just so unhappy. And according to what he told me, he felt so trapped. Eventually, once the affair was found out, it led to the end of his marriage. Fast forward a couple of years, and now he's getting married to the other woman. They've asked my wife and me to be a bridesmaid and groomsman. My wife has categorically refused. She says that she refuses to endorse their relationship that started out under bad circumstances, and refuses to send the message to her nephew that she thinks it's okay that his father cheated on his mom. My wife wants me to also boycott the wedding, but I won't. I've told my brother-in-law and good friend that I will absolutely be in his wedding, whether my wife is there or not. I know that what he did to his ex was wrong, but they never should have been married in the first place. But he's my friend and I want him to be happy. And I know he is with his current fiancé. Am I the a-hole? No a-holes here. I can't understand your wife's stance on this. You say he's my friend and I want him to be happy, and she feels the same way about her ex-sister-in-law and her nephew, whom your brother-in-law made very sad. I can understand your stance too, and it's probably the one I'd take. Bygones and all that. But I think you need to ask yourself whether you're prepared for the permanent breach it may cause with your wife. If there is a way to handle this more sensitively, pursue it. You owe your wife understanding as well as your brother-in-law. Now A-hole's here, bordering not the A-hole. She sounds a bit controlling here. Her choice to boycott, but she isn't doing a good job respecting OP's autonomy to make his own choice, reducing him to an instrument to express her displeasure at brother-in-law. It is her brother. Usually you want to let the half of the couple whose family it is take the lead in how to deal with their own relatives. I don't see this as all that controlling. You're the a-hole. But these comments are bizarre. Full of sympathy for a man who cheated on his wife for ages because he was a coward and a liar, based only on OP's version of events. No sympathy for his wife and child. Nobody clocking the fact that if his wife isn't defending her own brother, it's probably because he has caused such substantial amounts of pain to other people that she can't justify it. You have sent a very clear message to your wife, that you will help, support, and defend a cheater as long as the reason for cheating is good enough. And in this case, that amazing reason for cheating was, brother-in-law wasn't happy enough. And rather being straightforward and honest and breaking up, he chose to hurt two innocent people instead. Can you even imagine the conclusion she is drawing about your marriage right now? That if you decided to cheat, then you would. And brother-in-law would hide it from her in support of his brother. Loving your gross speculation, by the way, about how ex-wife was fine with a pressured marriage because you think she loved him. You clearly never knew or cared about her. So why are you trying to insist on her state of mind?